Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. So, welcome to a special edition of the Different Spectrums podcast. I'm your host, Spencer, and of course, we have our licensed clinical therapist and co-host for the show, Nazir.
How about the Michigan Wolverines?
There you go.
Go blue.
Go blue. Amazing blue.
Amazing blue, not golden blue.
No, don't say gold, or
Amazing
else
blue.
you are an asshole.
Yeah.
We have a special edition today. I'm in Indiana. And, we decided to do a in-person podcast because why not switch it up a bit for the end of the year or start of the year, as some would say.
Yeah.
So, we just kind of wanted to do a pod where we're doing, in person and, seeing how this feels. So.
And I don't have to look you right in the eye anymore.
Finally.
You ugly son of a bitch.
Beady eyes. Goddamn.
Beady eyes, no neck.
I don't have to look at your no neck anymore. Except for when I turn.
Floating head.
Whee! So, we have a few great things to talk about today. So, this is actually going to be our first annual end of the year wrap-up award show.
Wrap it up, folks.
We're wrapping it up, even though the year already ended.
Safe sex. Wrap it up.
Oh my God. I hope this doesn't come out. All right, so a few things that we're going to be talking about. We have a lot of different awards to give out, like who our favorite guests are and why. Also, we're going to be talking about shows and what we would redo if we could, maybe even movies with that. And then also what we're kind of looking forward to in this year of 2024. Yeah, Black people. And then also we're going to be talking about, our guests and how they like to feel comfortable with us and have fun because we're just so friendly.
So lovely.
Yeah, we're friendly people.
So non-threatening. People with no necks. We're not threatening. I'm
really wondering how your feet, you look like a midget.
Oh, no, I feel weird right now.
Yeah, you look odd. You look like a big-ass midget.
Well, I used to sleep in this couch all the time. So
I'm sorry, I can't say midget. You look like a big little person.
I look like a Oompa
Loompa. So with that, we're going to be having a lot of fun today. Let's get to it. Anything?
No, that's it. We're going to do a wrap-up show. We're going to talk about some awards, and I think most of you will agree. We're excited to maybe get some fan engagement on this.
Yes.
So some of the questions that Spencer is going to ask, we want you to add your opinions into it as well.
Yeah.
So if you could in the comment section, in the YouTube, and or on the podcast, you can respond to the polls and open any questions there. And we will also post these questions in our Instagram DSP Lounge.
Ooh.
We in the lounge, y'all.
We in the lounge.
We're in the lounge. We're lingerie.
All right, let's get into it.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. It's me, a Spencer, and I'm here to talk about our longtime collaborator, Cure Hydration. Cure is a premium hydrating electrolyte drink mix made with organic coconut water and pink Himalayan salt with no sugar added. It contains 4 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. My go-to flavor is grapefruit, but if you're not into that, you can go and get their variety pack with 8 different flavors to sample. Go to curehydration.com or go to our link tree and use the code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order today. All right, and we are back.
Get back in my life.
You're a scary human being, you know that?
I get all the ladies.
It's not even because of your size, because you look like you're 5 foot.
I feel so weird. I can't even touch
What's happening?
I don't know.
You're 6 foot.
I know, it's fine.
All right, fine.
Hello, ladies.
Hello out there. He will be hopefully moving to Michigan here soon.
Especially
all you Michigan ladies, look out for that.
Some of them men, too.
Okay. Whoa, okay. Gee. All right. So, first thing that we're going to be talking about today. Is there anything that you would do differently and this doesn't have to be for the pod, it could be for anything. But in 2023, was there anything that you would want to do differently that maybe, that now you look at it, hindsight 2020?
If it was for the pod, it was just so many of the small, like editing and kind of making the graphics different. I think one of the biggest changes for Instagram was condensing all the paragraphs that I was putting into smaller things.
Yeah.
Changing the ad. So it was a lot of little small micro things.
Right.
I think everybody want to do a podcast. Don't know what actually want to do the work to go on a podcast. It's that old saying too. Everyone wants to be a bodybuilder.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody want to lift them heavy ass weights. Podcasts are really tough.
They are.
Being content creators, being on social media, LinkedIn. I mean, it's a lot that goes into it. A lot of prep. You got to find all the shows that you want to do, production meetings. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
So I think there was a lot of different things that I could have known sooner to make it nicer.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that I would refine, or that I would tell the older version of myself, hey Nas, maybe make this graphic like this, maybe make this one bigger. I figured out this color scheme thing. Or I just hit a few buttons and it does the colors for me.
There you go.
Instead of me trying to figure out what color scheme.
Yeah.
Just a lot of different small things that I would like a second chance at, because there's a lot of wasted hours. But maybe it isn't wasted because you got to where you needed to be.
Yeah. And I also think with that is that once you're first starting off in something, you do have to do it through the harder way to really kind of get to that easy way. Because if you just kind of get to the easy way at first, then you're just this is simple.
Yeah.
We won't have to put any work into this, And
there's no real guidebook for it. There's no let me Google podcast, how to do a podcast. They'll show you how to do podcasts, but it's all the content creation, all the other stuff that's the hard part.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, doing a pod is tough, right? I mean, I've told to a lot of people that want to start one, it's the average is between 5 and 7 episodes. I think we're getting real close to 260, something like that, maybe 300.
Yeah, I think that's 300 at this point.
I mean, it's tough to continue as long as we're doing it and with all the guests. Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just the small edits to just make things quicker, because it was taking so much time.
Right.
So much time.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to make things better for y'all, me and Spence. We're trying to make it engaging, fun, clear audio. I so deeply apologize for some of the bad audios. It just takes time. But yeah, I would like more knowledge.
Yeah.
So not necessarily redo a lot of things. It's just more knowledge would make it so much easier.
Right. Yeah. Totally agree. And like you said, it's kind of one of those things where it's at some point it's going to come around. It's just that, sometimes it takes a little bit.
It takes a minute.
Yeah. So I would probably say for myself, personal wise, probably wouldn't tear my Achilles. That wasn't fun.
No.
That wasn't fun.
That side read a lot of things.
It did. But then also it kind of allowed me to also go on our Canada trip.
Yeah.
Because then I actually was I have to work from home and stuff, which I had to.
Yep.
And stuff like that. And so that was probably a blessing in disguise, because then I got out of a company that wasn't good for me. Yep. And now I'm at a pretty good place right now. So, yeah, I mean, maybe I wouldn't maybe I'd tear it all over again.
Maybe I'd tear it.
Maybe I just go.
Maybe I have the Aaron Rodgers tear when it didn't actually happen.
Yeah. Oh, I had to have surgery. Sure.
He had a strained calf, bro.
Yeah.
Admit it.
He was in the hospital. Sure he was. I mean, anybody can get in the hospital again.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was just in the hospital yesterday. So that was crazy.
You were totally wrong about that.
Mm. But yeah, I don't think there was too many other things that I like blew up.
I think it was like a pretty,
solid year.
Yeah, solid year. Nothing really like,
damn.
Yeah, like, wish I could have that back.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
It's more about just, just grinding.
If you want a funny story, well, even though I knew I wasn't going to do it, it was when I was interviewing for that Colorado job, and I was like, yeah, I don't need this job. And they were like, yeah, we're done with you.
I just want to be there because Prime.
Yeah, so, whatever we did, but I couldn't afford it, so I wouldn't have redone it. I'm glad where it all ended.
Yeah, so there you go.
There you
nothing. We would change nothing about this year.
I change nothing. I love who I am.
About 2023, nothing.
Self-love.
Yep, really love it. So next one. So this is our first award that we're kind of getting into now.
Yeah.
Right. So we've had a lot of guests on for this past year. Some you may say better than others. Maybe.
Some of them was good.
Yeah, some of them were good. Some of them
not so good.
So who were your favorite guests? And
who do you think my favorite guests were?
Oh my God! Any black woman that was on.
The black one.
The black woman. No, so I actually know for a fact it was
Danny.
Yeah.
Voice.
You love that voice.
Jesus.
You love that voice.
I love that voice.
I love a voice.
If you didn't hear Danny's pod on Luca, then I would go back and check it out.
Go check it out.
Magnificent counselor, therapist, Jewish individual as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lovely, lovely pod, lovely individual.
Oh yeah.
I highly recommend folks go back and check that out. It's all about embracing yourself, coming into your identity, authenticity, right? Mm-hmm. Magnificent voice.
Yes. And then also, I would also have to say, Christine.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Yep. I was just mesmerized by their intelligence, their compassion, their ability to intellectualize and pick things apart, to systematically do their work as a therapist and not just sit in people's emotions.
Yeah.
I much appreciate that. A lot of folks on the spectrums appreciate that. Okay, yeah, I know this sucks. Mm-hmm. You don't have to tell me that this sucks. But like, what are the things to help me make this not suck?
Yeah.
And she was the bear. Mm-hmm. That's what we did with them.
That was a great show overall.
Wonderful show overall. Yeah. Highly intense show. It was very overstimulating for me because there's just so much yelling and screaming, but wonderful show. A lot of trauma. Wonderful show.
Yeah.
And the food. Good food.
Good food.
But Christine and Danny, I think were probably my top two.
Yep.
I'm not even really going to go much further than that.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of other really dope people that we had.
Yeah. A lot of people were great.
A lot of people were wonderful.
Yeah. But, can't really be like, you were great.
Because I think we had close to 35 people.
Yeah. And if you're one of those guests that were like, it's like, it's okay. That's fine. I mean, it is what it is,
Best voice.
As long as you had fun, right?
Everyone had fun.
Yeah.
Best voice, going with Danny. One of the coolest therapists, I would say, is mixed between, not by coolest, I mean like really, 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 really good therapists, would be Christine, Kat, Danny. Yeah. I thought they were probably some of the best therapists.
Yeah, I would probably say that was probably like one of the, I think that's the key thing. It's like when you are able to have like conversation with them without me trying to ask questions, that's probably like some of our best shows because especially as a therapist, we need to have that back and forth with y'all. I think because then you can kind of see A, how you're different, and then B, how you're the same, and if you're a good therapist, you want to have like some of the same qualities.
Yep.
Right. So
yeah, who are your favorites?
I did like Sunny. I like Sunny a lot.
Sunny was magnificent.
They were great because they really blended in with the show.
Yep.
They're
Jurassic Park. So Jurassic Park. Go check that out. Special Interests.
Yes. I liked having Andrea and then having the Aurora FC on.
Yep.
That's because my thing is whole marketing, right? And so it may not be just like the therapists and stuff like that I kind of want to get to. I also want to make sure we're talking about mental health, but then we're also talking about in different sections. So in sports and stuff like that, because that's where we kind of want to go, and we'll talk on that later. But I would have to say Andrea, and then also with Rory the Rorosaurus.
It was just a weird episode.
It was weird.
It was magnificent.
It was great. It was weird.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Rory actually might have been the funniest fucking guest we had.
Maybe.
Jesus, I could not hold my mud for that one.
Their body movements were the best.
Yep.
Like they just knew how to emote without even talking. And I'm like, I know that's their job and stuff, but it's still amazing to see.
So go check out the Good Dinosaur episode.
Dinosaur. Yep.
And you'll see the mascot that does not talk that we are therapizing.
Yeah.
And working with imposter syndrome and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
That was an interesting pod, difficult to pull off without them talking.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun.
It was.
Side note, my computer wasn't working for some of it. And so they went with it, and y'all couldn't see any of the visual, just only hear the audio.
Yeah.
And Roy still did so good.
So good. So good.
So good.
Constant professional.
Consummate. Professional.
But yeah, I would also have to say Christine, just for the fact of being able to be a therapist, but then also rolling with a lot of our stuff. I thought maybe at first was not going to be able to keep up with our energy.
She said she got all sons.
Yeah. And then she was and then it worked perfectly.
Yeah, you got all sons. You run all that masculine energy.
Masculine.
You know, we're masculine.
We're a little masculine.
Masculine on the podcast.
So I would definitely say those are my favorites.
Yep. Sonny was just fun as hell.
Yeah.
That was just out of pocket.
Yeah.
Just
everywhere.
Stories about random stuff.
Yeah.
There were some trauma bonds there. And then there's just overall I would think that there might have been the most joyful, most happy individual that we had.
Yes.
They were just
giddy about
just ready to talk. Yep.
Volcanoes.
Excited.
All that stuff. So that was a good one.
That was fun. Special interest, really fun.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch, you did it.
You did it.
You did it. Famous quote, Jurassic Park. Yep. Question.
Yeah.
Least favorite?
Oh, God.
Or most awkward? So, least favorite or most... Well, there's two separate words, because I got most awkward in my mind.
Yeah.
But you can go least favorite, because I know you got a couple individuals.
I got a few in the chamber.
You got a couple.
I'm sorry, but ADHD people, fucking A. I understand. We tried it so many times with so many different people.
Yep.
And this is me. You don't have to speak for you.
Yep.
I'm speaking for me. I don't like it because they try to trample over everything you fucking say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is not a good conversation. That's the whole point of our show, is to have conversations, to have at least have it meaningful conversations. It's not a one-way street. Yes, we want to get to know you, but we also want to make sure that the guests out there are being entertained and they're actually learning something.
Yep.
ADHD people, they ain't interested in that. They just want in my life, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Holy shit.
It can go long.
It's not for everyone. And I'm not saying everyone who has ADHD. I'm talking everybody who has ADHD in their fucking Instagram profile.
Yes.
Yes, I'm going off on it. I don't give a fuck.
We had some interesting times with folks with ADHD. And we also ourselves have an ADHD. Most of the guests being neurodivergent have an ADHD. There's different flavors. Everyone knows that. And we know one of the symptomologies of that in autism is that you can go on rants, right? And it's fine. But when you go on the rant and then you try to dominate when we try to ask questions, it's tough to do a pod. It's really tough to do a pod to make sure that it's engaging. And so, it can get overstimulating for us as well. And so it's hard to navigate. So sometimes when we ran into ADHD, it was just tough. It's just tough for us to navigate to make sure it's a good conversation and not just a tangent thing way out here, because we feel like we're losing guests at times.
Yeah.
I would say, so instead of putting on we just know that was the most difficult to work with.
It's the most difficult. Yeah. And it's it's when we have that pause of being oh, you can talk.
Yep.
It's not fucking there.
No.
It's not there. And I understand we want people to unmask and be themselves. Not trying to be hypocrites here.
Yep.
It's more about, we also want to make sure that we're having a good show.
Yep.
Because are you going to listen to that? No.
Someone went along.
Yeah. Someone went a little long, and then they also try to take over. Like, they literally took over the
Yeah, we'll
fucking
cut
show.
in a lot.
Yeah.
And I give a lot of grace and leeway.
Right.
But yeah, it's just tough. So if we had better editing skills, it wouldn't be as big a deal. But since I suck at editing,
We all let it go.
it needs to be, a thing. So I think after working with so many different people with so many different disorders, comorbidities, things like that, I think ADHD might have been the toughest one.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because
We've had people who are bipolar. We've had people who are
all
different
types of anxiety, autism, all different types of support needs for autism as well too.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the harder ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no diss to the people. Like,
Yeah, no,
we're not saying
we got
like,
it too.
you're bad people or anything. It's just like when we're trying to do a show, it's a little tough.
Oh, I mean, they knew afterwards. They were like,
Did
"I'm
they?
so sorry for cutting you off."
Did they?
Like the person the other day was like, "I am so sorry." Like the other day, what was it? It was Kate. From over Japan.
Yep.
She commented on one of the things from Izzy, ADHD Izzy.
Mhm.
And she said, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you did it with my friend. Hopefully they didn't cut you off like I did every few seconds." I'm like, they knew.
Yeah.
They knew. Then there was other folks too.
Yeah.
I think for me, there was never like a legit dislike because I think all of our guests were pretty magnificent.
I'm also an asshole. So
put
that in there.
There wasn't a strong like, So that's why I wanted to put in like awkward.
Yeah. And then I just turned it into like, I fucking hate.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, yeah. Well, there was that. Probably the only thing they had was like awkward. I was like, so we had a bunch of folks that were shy.
Yeah.
Shy, anxious. We probably, not maybe the biggest talkers, and so there was more like prompting and questions from us.
True.
And so it kind of landed on flat. And that's pretty normal for a lot of folks on the autism community or just socially anxious. Mm-hmm. Not everyone's meant for this podcast stuff. I get it. Mm-hmm. So I remember specifically, and I'm thinking of like a handful of people. I'm not going to name all the pods, but there was like a handful of people. I was like, this is tough.
Yeah.
Specifically, though, my intern, Andrea, what pod was that? I think that was either Encanto or
Coco.
That was Coco.
It was Coco.
It was Coco.
Yeah.
It was such a magnificent movie.
I know.
Yeah. It's not all their fault. Anxious, one of my interns, wonderful individual, good therapist, just so anxious. They're overstimulated because the family was all outside. We heard
family
music going,
dogs barking,
their brothers breaking into their room.
Yeah.
And she just could not keep her shit together.
No.
I think we had to pause the movie a few times.
Yeah.
Because they had to go outside.
And then it was just one of those, just like,
it was just so awkward.
We could be like, this is not going well.
Yeah. She said like a couple things, but she's like, I'm sorry, guys. And now she has like not said a word to me since.
The podcast breaking up friendships.
Yeah, so I remember telling, I was like, girl, that was a tough pod. She's like, you don't have to release it if it wasn't good. I was like, it's content.
It's coming out.
It's coming out.
AKA, don't let it out because I'm too embarrassed.
I know, it was. Hey, it is what it is.
I ain't promoting that.
Yes. So that was probably the most awkward pod that we had.
Right. Yeah, that was up there. We still talk about that to this day.
Oh, because it was just the funniest thing. I want to let everyone know, like, no pod will ever go as bad as that pod.
Fair enough.
That was still good content, but it just was just so random. I'm like, girl, what do you think about this? I don't know. It was intense.
Yeah. Yeah. What a good time.
But yeah, most awkward would be that one.
Yeah.
I know most out of pocket. And like wild, definitely to me would be Sunny.
Yeah. But in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way.
The stories are just, well, I want to tell you about this one time about pizza. And like this person took my pizza and then I beat their ass.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I couldn't go back to that school. You're like, whoa.
Jesus.
Okay.
You want me to tell you a funny story? So a lot of their funny stories are like kind of traumatic stories.
Yeah. So. They're like, you want to know something funny? And then it's just like the most worst thing. You're like.
And a lot of folks on the spectrum do that too, man. Like, this is funny. And then everyone's like, oh my God, you got beaten as a child? I'm like, it's normal.
Yeah, well, my house.
Yeah. What other questions we got over there?
So, we are also going to be taking a look at what are we looking for this year of 2024.
I'll let you start that off.
Definitely. I mean, once you move to Michigan and stuff, I think that's going to really open up things because it's going to be a lot better for, especially like other people to travel, but me to travel here or to Michigan, that'd be great.
Yep.
And then hopefully, maybe if this goes well, we can always do more of these. That'd be great. Because I've been trying to get this done for a while, and we've just been so busy, and so we're actually doing it, and I think this would be fun to do. So this, and then also just trying to make a name for ourselves even more than we already have. I mean, at this point, we're at like what, almost 15,000 followers on Instagram.
Yep.
And I think this year will probably be like one of our biggest years.
Should be,
to be honest. So, and especially with all the guests that we're having on.
It should be.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
I think I'm excited about the new guests that we're going to have coming on. So we're going to have a lot of the returners come back. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yep.
I think the new direction or the little small pivot of having a lot of different support staff, different creators out there as well, not just like a lot of therapists like we did, and a lot of ADHD coaches or just coaches in general.
Yeah.
I think I'd be really excited to have like legit coaches, like athletics, real coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be really cool to get some of the therapists from those teams. I think it would be cool to do the mascots again.
Yeah.
I want to continue to do the mascots because I think that was just a hilarious podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It allows us to be like hella autistic and just kind of roll with it and have fun.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for different guests, but also some of the same type of guests.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to be officially trademarked on January 9th, Different Spectrums Podcast. Excited
Woo!
for that.
Yeah.
Excited for the quality of all of our pods to be just better.
Yeah.
The audio should be good, like always moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to figure it out where we get some weird fucking sounds and gadgets. I'm gonna figure it out. So we're starting to work these different routes of like OBS. I'm excited to, after I figure out OBS, that way we can actually live stream with y'all.
That'd be cool.
On YouTube,
Yeah.
and Instagram. So we should be able to start doing that towards the summer.
Yeah.
Which I'm really excited about that. This is why I'm doing all this OBS crap now, to figure out this noise thing, because that's the only way to stream is through OBS.
Right.
Well, only way to stream where it's efficient for us.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. It's a little bit harder to do the live streams from your computers, even though I heard Instagram did an update, so where now you can. So multiple different things. Obviously, I'm excited about the Lions in the playoffs, wearing the jersey.
Yeah.
I'm excited about Michigan probably going to win a championship this coming Monday.
Yeah.
I know Spence is excited about the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh yeah. I'm excited for the Vikings though.
No,
That's a wash.
it is what it is.
Yep.
So it's a couple of different things I'm excited about. 2024 should be a big year.
Yeah.
I assume with all the guests and different things we got coming on, and like the new algorithmic ways of like figuring shit out, I assume we should grow exponentially this year.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting stuff. It's it's all coming together. But yeah.
Yeah. Fuck even the website that we Spence just updated. Then I did a little updates to it, like magnificent compared to what it used to be.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't checked out our website, go check it out.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
All the guests are on there. So we have them in our Instagram as well. We're under the guest highlights.
Right.
But now you can actually go to our webpage. They're all on the bottom. If you click on their face, their picture, because it's not a long biography, it's just a photo. If you click on the photo, it'll take you right to all the information, the resources, all of it. Check out the website. Click on whatever therapist that you liked, or specifically the ones that we shouted out today.
Mm-hmm.
Or creator. They're not all therapists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So next question probably be, what movie or show would you want to redo if we could? And this poses a question to all of our viewers too. What one would you want us to redo? Maybe we didn't hit a point that you wanted to. Maybe we just were like that day. I don't know.
Yeah, it happens.
So what movie or show that we've done already would you want us to redo? Because we have done a lot of stuff. And when I'm looking at, like when we first started, every video is like below 15 minutes.
Yes.
Right? And so we could honestly do a lot of them.
We probably could redo many of them.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go with
Or any specific one. Yeah.
it's tough. I'm probably going to go with like specifically. There's a lot of Star Wars content that we did that we did not do justice for.
Yeah.
A lot of our beginning followers were all Star Wars people because that's what we started with. Was all Star Wars stuff.
Yep.
Because it's magnificent for mental health, mentorship, the balance between existentialism, the dark side, right, the Jedi.
Yep.
I would say probably Star Wars related material. We got much better, obviously, this year.
Yep.
I feel like all the pods that we did this year were pretty solid.
Yes. And this is mainly going back to like a year ago.
Yeah. Yep.
So like 2022, like late 2023, I guess.
I think the only one I can think of is after I've seen all the hoopla. Is homeboy like sacrifices himself in Loki.
Oh yeah.
And everyone's like the glorious purpose.
Yeah.
So that would have been good to talk about martyrdom.
There you go.
Yes, and we might actually end up getting to that too. But I want to do a guest if we have that one.
Yeah.
So I did see that because everyone's fucking just talking about the glorious purpose and then how it tied into other things. I was like, maybe that. But specifically, I just think about all the Star Wars ones that we did compared to like the newer ones that we did. I'm like,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. And we really started off with like Obi-Wan. That was like one of the first videos that we actually posted was actually Obi-Wan.
Yep.
And so, yeah, there's a lot to go into that one. And to actually show the clip and stuff like that.
Oh, we had the hardest time in the beginning of these pods.
We would have to explain the whole clip and show like pictures.
Yeah.
Of what was that?
It was.
Obi-Wan was throwing rocks. And
we're on
Darth
YouTube.
Vader.
It was intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, not too many redos, but there was a couple things I would like to do more justice 2 and 4. I'm thinking as we grow, then we'll be able to ask people that were maybe affiliated with those things to rejoin us and then have some fun about it. Also, if a guest ever wants to redo or like do those scenes or a scene, then we're just going to go with it.
Yeah.
Because if we have repeat things, then I think that'll be fine moving forward, as long as it's a guest that wants to do it.
Yeah. Totally.
So yeah, we'll get to them. This year's audio wasn't too bad.
No.
Where the previous years was pretty bad, but this year's wasn't. I think the one actually here it is. Heartbreak High, the one that we did with Andrea.
I don't think that was Andrea. No.
Isn't her name Andrea? No, Andrew. No, Adrian.
Adrian.
That one, my audio was shit. I can't remember why. Oh, because we had to record it via Zoom, and Zoom had my microphone all the way down. So that one I had to edit and edit and edit and edit. So I got it to actually be like sufficient. I do wish we could redo that one.
Okay.
Yes, because that was a really good pod.
It was,
but my mic was shot.
Yeah,
and that's because I had my laptop on quiet mode.
Yeah. So
it bogged down my whole computer, and thus it wouldn't record on OBS because it kept shutting down.
There you go.
So then recorded on Zoom, and then Zoom for some reason turned my microphone off.
I don't know.
Oh my God, the shit that I go through on this podcast.
So much stress.
Anything that you would like to redo?
Like you said, Star Wars stuff, because we did so much Star Wars stuff at the beginning.
A lot of Star Wars Marvel.
So much. Yeah. Probably like specifically, I would also do Shang-Chi. Because that pod was only like a couple minutes for that one.
Yeah, and it was like a magnificent movie.
It was. Yep. It was a great movie. I believe we did the end scene with the dad.
We did.
Yeah, and I think we could.
We could have did so much more on grief.
We could do so much more. I think we can do that. I think that's one I would want us to like
grief and trauma, and we didn't, and it was all on YouTube, so it wasn't even like good clips.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
So.
That's definitely one for me. And like you said, now we're doing like hour-long, more than that podcast, and we can really hit on topics that actually, that we can actually flesh out instead of just being like, well, here's a clip.
Here's a clip.
And see you later.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Yeah, I think those were some really good ones. But like I said, comment down below on this video or on Spotify, what you want us to redo.
What would you like us to redo?
Yeah.
Or what would you like us to do moving forward?
Or if you want to go on our socials and be like, hey, fuckers, try this one.
Yes. I respond to negativity.
He does. It's weird. So moving on. we've been having, so for our guests, a lot of the time um, they're they love coming onto the show because they can actually be themselves.
Mm.
We've heard this a lot that, if someone has done other podcasts and stuff, it's very structured, right? And we're structured. It's just like it's a loose structure.
Yep.
We let the person do their thing. We let you show who you are
Yep.
before, we want to tell you who you are. And I think that's a great thing that we do. And a lot of the time we have a lot of people come on to the show and be like, that was great because I was actually able to be myself
Yep.
and wasn't, bogged down by like a script
Yep.
or anything, right?
Or super professionalism.
Yeah. Or should yeah. And that's one of the big things too, is like, I don't have to be like, oh, well, I'm a therapist, so I have to give up here.
Yep.
And I think that that's something that I'm also looking forward to, is being able to get our guests to open up a little bit more than what they've been able to do previously.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, um, I think that's one of our big trademarks, is how we can get our guests to unmask.
Yeah. I think it's been quite magnificent to hear people say that.
Yeah.
So to not only have fun, but to like cuss, to swear, to talk a little shit, to maybe afterwards we debrief about the show, but we also debrief about life.
Yeah.
We've made a couple folks, that are more friendly now with us, that we conversate about a few more things that I send memes and reels to regularly. So a couple of you folks, Mandy, I send more. The relatable counselor, they did 2 pods with us last year. That was kind of magnificent. We send things back and forth.
Yeah.
Anna Maria, we did Inside Out, and so they're like, "Hey, you're funny, so I'm going to send you reels." So now we exchange reels. Mandy did Batman with us and Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yep.
And I think those are the 2 folks that I send a lot of stuff to. And obviously, Lacey, just being a big supporter of ours for bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
They send us a lot of shit, a lot of memes, and they support literally all of our content. So it's quite magnificent.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of longer talks with these individuals too. So I think it's really cool to unmask and to make some friends with some of these folks. So in unmasking, people will maybe that's what it is. The being less professional, more casual.
Yeah.
The conversation. Maybe that's why the folks start to go on those long ADHD rants. I'm not really sure, because maybe the timer. Because I know everyone's got a timer.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. So, but we can't help that, because we're going to still continue to be who we are.
Yeah.
Because we want people to unmask.
We do. And this whole video isn't about like, "Yay, shut up." It's more about like, "Hey, we're probably going to see less."
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's got to be folks with a little bit better of a timer. So that's the only tough thing, is when you're so unmasked and it is just a conversation. But there's a difference between no reciprocity and reciprocity.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that we're usually looking for. But unmasking some of the folks, I always check. I'm like, "Hey, you always doing you good?" And I remember Danny, the self-love individual that wears all pink.
Yeah.
They said it was the most chaos podcast that they've ever had, but it was very awesome and therapeutic.
Fair.
And they've liked some of our stuff and DM'd us recently about a bunch of cool things, and we're excited and supporting us. It was super really cool.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool, is to always see. And then there's a couple other folks I mentioned. I'm not going to say their names.
Yeah.
But they said, "Hey, I just did a podcast with someone else." And it was super uptight and rigid, very professional. You got to make sure that you don't get canceled. And us, I'm like, "Hey, man, we're gonna say some stuff.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna do a ton of education, right? We gotta have fun. This cannot be work."
Yep.
So I think that's magnificent. People can unmask, and of course, I'm hella unmasked.
Yeah.
And Spencer's hella unmasked. So
well.
It's magnificent to know that people feel comfortable with us.
Yeah.
Because that would be a horrible podcast if we're making people feel like shit.
True.
Even the guests that maybe we didn't do the best with.
Yeah.
Still, they felt magnificent. It was us that were fucking stressed out because we're trying to do a podcast. No.
It's not going to come out well.
They felt great, though. Us were I can't edit all this. All right.
So, kind of going off on that, I guess who you haven't already talked about, but who else would you want to have back on the show?
So yeah, obviously the couple folks that me and you mentioned already, then the
Right.
couple folks that I just mentioned now.
Yeah.
Um, I think what I'm really excited about is the young man that we just interviewed.
Oh yeah.
So the therapist, the old therapist for Detroit Pistons, was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Dope individual, black male, coming out of Minnesota, working with the NFL,
Yeah.
XFL, or the USFL.
It's the
No, the
same.
UFL. It's
Yeah.
called UFL
UFL.
now,
Yep.
right? Football League.
Yep.
Um, so there was a lot of good guests.
Yeah. It's like you don't have to name them all right now. It's like more of just like top of the head, like who you thinking.
I love that we're staying the course with folks of color.
Yes.
I love that we're staying the folks with that are therapists. I also love having like legitimate folks that are autistic on there, and whatever they bring or present,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is.
Yep.
I also think it was really cool to have we try to get multiple fans to join us, and just it didn't work out multiple times, or other podcasts it just didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
It's also, I think it's hard to get males to do a fucking podcast. I ain't shitting on our people, but I'm shitting on our people. We do not follow through with shit. Well, Keyshawn, yo, dude, it was magnificent having you on.
Yeah.
I loved your questions. Like the questions that you asked were fucking magnificent, and you led the podcast.
Yeah.
Which was dope as shit for me and you, because we were like, oh,
well, I guess we're getting the
hey
good
man, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
To have fan interact, and he was just intelligent as shit.
He was. Yeah.
I'm excited to see you grow. Excited that you got to do a lot of cool things this year. I just saw your post.
Mm-hmm.
FYI, folks, we do follow some of our fans that engage with our material all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to continue to ask a few more fans to join us. But I think I was just surprised at how good some of the guests would be.
Right.
Or just how good of people they were.
Yeah. A lot of time sometimes we're like, this might not be a good one.
Yep.
Sometimes we're right.
Yep.
Other times we're very wrong.
We're like, Jesus.
Yeah. We're like, wow, they actually very not only intelligent, but just very charismatic in how they hold themselves. And so that goes a long way with us. And especially if, like we've talked about this, but if you're willing to, just make sure that everyone is giving something into this, then we feel like you're a great guest.
Yep.
And we love the support that a lot of our guests give us because they are fantastic.
Oh yeah. And I think it was also magnificent, like we've got so many dedicated followers.
Yeah.
That like all of our posts.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like a good probably like 15 to 20 that like our shit no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I don't remember, I don't know their names because I know their Instagram handles.
Yeah.
Or I just know their little photos. Yeah. And I've reached out to multiple of y'all throughout the course of the year, just like thanking you for always supporting our shit, just letting you know I see you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of you that have fallen off of Instagram, and I've sent y'all DMs just to making sure like you're okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully y'all are okay. It looks like you took a couple folks took a hiatus. You don't know about this, but a couple of them that always supported us. I'm like, where y'all go?
Mm-hmm.
They haven't posted anything. They're also content creators.
Mm-hmm.
I assume they're just taking breaks.
Yeah. Maybe for like the year or something.
Yeah, I assume. But yeah, at some point I was like, hey man, where are you? You good? There are other therapists too. Not that we had on the pod. They're just random people.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just magnificent folks that we've had.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Can't wait to see who else comes on and have, same people come on.
Yeah, we'll shoot some DMs. Yeah. I saw you looking at something a second ago.
Yeah.
So the other day, Spotify did a Wrapped, and it showed our largest listened to podcast was Lakeith.
Yes.
Dr. Lakeith Sutton.
He was great. I loved having him on.
What movie was that? TV show. Shrinking? It's called Shrinking.
Shrinking. It wasn't Shrinking.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
With with
on Apple.
Yep. With Harrison Ford, right?
Yes, and then the guy from the How I Met Your Mother.
Yep.
Jason Segel, is that it?
Jason Segel.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Lakeith's therapeutic. No, it wasn't therapeutic honesty. That's one we did on Ahsoka, where we said that they were autistic. His was like a therapist chair, and like how other therapists have issues as well.
Yeah.
Magnificent pod. That was actually one of our first guest pods.
Yeah.
And so it just
holy shit.
Set the bar so high on what it's supposed to look like. Yes.
That's great.
Magnificent pod.
Yeah.
I think it said the most shared was one of our favorites was Lacey, and which was the was the bipolar movie. Well, what the hell was it called?
Oh,
Year Between.
yeah, Year Between.
Yeah, so that was the most shared,
Yeah.
which was really cool. It showed that like close to 200 people have us in their top 10 pods.
Mhm.
I think it said like 175 people was in their top 5 pods, and then I think it was like 30 some people were like their number 1 pod.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool to be like in someone's number 1 pod. Because like Spencer's girlfriend, we're in her top 5. We're just number 3.
Yeah.
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 So number 1 is like
She listens. Yeah.
number 1. So she's Dom is, excuse me, in the 75 range.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a shit ton of folks listening. I think on Spotify now it says that we have 448 or 84 followers. The only reason why I bring this up is because 60% of our followers, listeners,
Mhm.
are on Apple.
Yeah.
Spotify is only counting Spotify.
Yeah.
So that means we got a shit ton more on Apple that I don't even know I have no data on.
Yeah.
So like our pod is much larger than we actually think it is.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, and that's what I like about our show, is that we're always just constantly trying to get better. It's like, it's very competitive in that way.
Very competitive.
We just want to, we just want to be able to give everybody the sauce.
The
sauce.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't say
it. Yep.
So, yeah, we're trying to reach a lot of people. The statistics show that we got, it's roughly 65 to 70%. It's going to be women or women identifying folks.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of folks are going to be of color. A lot of folks are going to be neurodivergent.
Yep.
So whether they're autistic, ADHD, OCD, eating disorder, there's going to be a lot of different shit that's in there.
Yeah.
And it's magnificent. It shows that most podcasts listened to are comedy. Not ours, but just in general, it's like 60% are comedy.
Yep.
So it's another reason why we tend to keep it very lighthearted and funny.
Keep the laughs, folks.
We got to, because it can't just be straight lecture. I've looked at some of these other pods that are led and hosted by women, like 4 women, and there's a ton of humor. It's just them just chatting.
Yeah.
And some people will not like, listen to y'all, and just y'all just shooting the shit. I'm like, you must not have listened to enough, because there's a decent amount of therapy that goes on in these conversations.
Yeah.
I have, what was it? I think it was Danny, the young Jewish woman that came with us, and he said, "Man, my partner wants to start up a pod," and they were scared, and they listened to your pod, and they were like, "I could do that."
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I feel good or bad about
I know.
that
It's like, are we giving too much confidence?
Is these idiots can do it, so we can do it? Is that the vibe we're doing?
That felt like it. No, it's
fine. No, it's fine.
But yeah, like you said, man, and I think also something that we're going to touch on is just having more people of color on. It's just like you briefly said it. It's like it for us. Sometimes it feels like
it's our meat and potatoes. It's where we live.
It's where we are. It's where we're comfortable. And and we've had a lot of great guests who are not people of color and things like that. But like you said, a lot of our audience are, and so it's like sticking with that, and it's been working so far. So
it's a thing that we'll continue to do as a BIPOC podcast. Let's continue to push that and advocate for our folks. We'll also advocate for disability rights,
of course,
and autism affirming stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Overall good stuff for the pod. Overall good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we've kind of touched on a lot of great things. Like you said, we're going to be getting more into like a lot of athletics, a little bit more. We're going to be doing a lot of nonprofits, and then also different corporations and stuff like that we want to interview with.
Yep.
So there's a lot to look forward to in 2024. And, the fact that we were able to talk to our last guest, who was with the Detroit Pistons, who was doing stuff with the UFL. He was great just overall. Like, it's not even just that stuff. He also did stuff with like Oprah, Dr. Phil.
Yep.
You don't get to just do that.
Yep.
He's got to know what he's talking about.
Yep.
So that was a great conversation that'll be coming out, if not already, when this posts. So, a lot of great things coming, and yeah, it's going to be great, man.
Really excited on how things go, but also just get better, cleaner, more efficient. And just, that way when we do run into folks that are going to be like longer winded, or we need to have like breaks or potty breaks or whatever, then just editing gets better.
Yeah.
I learned so much. Eventually I want to have to do this, and want to have someone who's legit like an editor or a video or a designer or something like. Eventually, they're gonna be running this shit, and me and Spencer's gonna be just doing the talking.
Just talking shit.
Yes. Well, we got a long list of people that we're getting ready to DM, and we're super excited to bring them to you. We'll see how it goes throughout the year.
Okay.
The goal is to continue to pump out 2 a week. It may slow down to, Monday pods where they're just me and Spence, and then one every other week with a guest.
Mm-hmm.
That's worst case scenario. That there would just be 2 less per month.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see where it goes with that.
Yeah.
Just trial and error. Everything's trial and error.
Yeah.
I think as we're wrapping up with some of the questions, is I think I was most surprised by how much the guests just love being on the pod.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
I think me and Spence figured out like maybe midway through, they're like, "This is the best fucking podcast I've ever been on my entire life." I'm like, "Holy shit!"
Oh well, we actually doing good.
Yeah, I think a couple people said it was their first podcast ever, and I'm like, "Well, I don't know if that's good or bad." So.
Yeah, we'll see. They were like, "Wow," they just start cussing.
Yeah, and the next pod they're gonna be like, "You know what, dick."
You.
Yeah. Well, I could do that on a different specials podcast. Well, you know what? They're a little slow.
Well, I seen this stuff. They slow.
They slow.
They slow.
They real slow. They're not that smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that's like been your favorite moment for?
I think the favorite moment is when I first realized it. But let's say with an ADHD folk was ADHD Ron. He was like, "This is fucking awesome."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, I wonder if other people feel like this."
Yeah.
Then I started asking, and then everyone was like, "No, this is legit fun as shit."
Yeah.
I was like, "Doing something right."
Yeah.
Doing something right. Yeah. We've gotten a few cool Instagram comments too.
Yeah.
Where people will be like, "It's just so awesome to listen to a pod like this that's affirming but also fun and educational."
Mm-hmm.
I would have never thought that we would have got comments like that. I've had a dad reach out to us and said that, "Hey man, I listened to all your pods. It's helped me learn a lot about myself and my son, and so I just want to let you know you got a fan for life." Mm-hmm. I was like, Jesus, this is not like a person I knew.
Right.
It's just, it's just some random dude.
Yeah.
So super exciting.
Yeah. My favorite moment was definitely, I loved going to, and this is something that we can also look forward to, is the, hopefully having more live events, going to those.
Yep.
When I went to the Aurora FC live watch party for the women's U.S. Women's soccer team,
yep,
that was great. That was great meeting a lot of people in person.
Oh yeah, so I forgot about that. Yeah, the goal is to start going to live events. Yeah,
yeah, and so that was great being able to talk to people about autism, and a lot of people really spoke to us and were excited about it.
Yep.
There were some kids there, so I couldn't be like, "Hey, watch this podcast," because we're just like, "Fuck, dick."
Hey, that's even bigger.
What color was it?
Yeah, purple.
No.
I think it'll be awesome to start going to some of these Comic-Con things.
Yeah.
And small, nerdy things too. Yeah. I think it'll be maybe community engagement related things. Yeah. I think as soon as we move, I think it'll be magnificent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go in a whole new direction. Then we'll probably back down on some pods because we'll be more curating them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be an interesting year. I mean, from year one, which was, hey, we're putting content out. That's what I told you. Nas, it's a lot. I'm like, dude, we just got to shove it out there.
Yeah.
You got to put it out. You just show up naked.
Just show your balls.
People will look.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something. You run outside naked, they gonna look.
They gonna look.
Yeah.
They gonna look.
They gonna look.
And now this year has changed.
Yeah.
In so many different ways. So now next year should only continue to build. So I'm just excited for the listeners because it's just going to be better content.
Yeah, totally. I think so too.
Yep.
Yeah. And as it goes on, I think it'll just get easier and easier.
Oh, easier and easier. It's already so fucking easy.
Right.
But now as we start to learn how to edit more, maybe we have someone else come on the team to do some of this stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else before you wrap up?
I see you on the page there. Yep. Again, please comment on this on the YouTube, on Spotify, answer the polls, or on any of the Instagram reels. Shout out to some of the cool collaborators that have been with us since day one.
Yeah.
a lot of great products. I'm not going to go through all the products, and I think we're going to slow down mentioning all that because we're going to have the ads and commercials on.
Yep.
They're legit really good stuff. Some of the candles that are on there and the soaps that are on there from Cat and Raven, magnificent.
Yep.
They're great folks, great causes. I think the Toink Toys one, there's so much nerdy shit on there. I think all of you would like it. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. And if you're already buying that stuff, then use the code, get 20% off. Like some of the folks, the small businesses, I don't even know how they make money. Because if they do a little kickback for us and then they give y'all 20% off, then they're giving to charity. I'm like, you literally just gave away 60% of your profit.
Yeah. But they're doing it just because, it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing. It's a hobby. So go check out some of those really cool things if you want to. Obviously, our merch is there. There's a ton of cool different spectrum things, a lot of neuro-affirming things. The prices have also went down on that because the website itself did a reduction. So then I went in and put a 20% off on everything. So go check out the stuff. It's cheaper than what it used to be. We don't control those prices at all. That's all set by like this company that I don't even think is in America.
No,
I think it's in Europe.
It probably is. And also it's like, at some point, hopefully we'll do our own
merch and it'll be much less expensive.
That'll be later on.
That's later down the road. Maybe you can get a shirt for like $15.
Yeah.
And so I think it's like 25 and 30 now.
Yeah.
It'd be nicer. So, but go check this stuff out. A lot of cool stuff. Therapist, neurodivergent, neuroaffirming, just different shirts, WNBA kind of mock-ups. Help us out, but also help yourself out. So those are some of the things there.
Yep.
I'm excited about next year. I'm really happy about the past year. I'm actually just kind of fucking shocked this is happening. This is the, as Pat McAfee says, this is the worst fucking show.
It's the worst, but it's the best.
It's the worst.
Okay.
It's the worst.
So with that, like we said before, engagement. We want more of you to keep on talking to us, to keep on liking, to keep on commenting, because then it gets our names out there and stuff like that. And then we can also start helping people a lot more, and, bringing joy into other people's lives. So keep on doing that. And then, hey, you know what? If you haven't done a lot, that's okay. Just, maybe start doing that this year. Maybe that's your New Year's resolution.
For real.
Helping out the Different Spectrums podcast.
Just a simple like really helps. And you'd be surprised.
There you go.
Joy to the world. Man, 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 man.
Beautiful.
Man, man.
This is when I hope,
man, man.
I hope we haven't been recording for like the past 30 minutes.
Okay.
So go do that. Just want to say, hey, love you, man.
Love you too.
Love you, man. Thanks for starting this.
Yes.
So happy to be here and can't wait for more years to come of this.
It's fucking exciting. We get to have fun, talk shit, help people out.
Yeah.
When we ain't selling shit. I'm never selling anything on this with like real stuff. Like we're not coaching anyone. We're not selling you sessions.
No.
We're having fun.
That's next year.
We're talking to people. We ain't, if you go buy some stuff and we're giving you discounts, I'm cool with that. But I ain't selling shit. I'm not hustling and stealing someone's money.
No.
So I'm excited just to be on here and spread love and joy.
Yeah.
That's it.
There you go.
That's all it's about. Love, joy, family.
Love, joy,
As we said on the Instagram, welcome to the family. Oh, you got diabetes and high blood pressure now. Welcome to the family.
One toe missing.
One toe missing. Yeah, one toe missing. Okay. All
right. So with that, thank you everybody for watching. This has been a special edition, the first annual year in review and year wrap up of the Different Spectrums podcast, and also award show in there, us just talking shit.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for watching. This is Different Spectrum Podcast. I'm Spencer. That's Nas.
Y'all know, much love, much respect, and remember, take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
That shit's up to you. All right, everyone. Peace. Nice. Hopefully all that shit recorded.
Yeah.
It's about to be like, error. No, it's been going the whole time. Nice.